Welcome to lecture 32 on dictionaries in Python. So we'll continue from our previous example which we had taken on football players. So I'll quickly execute the first cell, and if we print it out, we find that our dictionary has been successfully created. It has a few keys. It has name, nationality, position, and goals as the four keys, and there are list of values against every key. The first function that we'll take up in today's lecture is the copy function. The copy function, as the name suggests, returns a copy of the dictionary on which the function is invoked. However, it is important to keep in mind that in Python there are two types of copy operations. One is the shallow copy operation and the other is the deep copy operation. In the deep copy operation, which this copy function is used for, what happens is a separate memory area is created for the newly allocated dictionary. The moment we take an existing dictionary and create a copy out of it, this new copied dictionary will be allocated a different memory location from the original dictionary. This is what happens in deep copy, and this is the reason why we use the copy function. I'll quickly emphasize on this part through the execution of these cells. And another thing is, contrary to deep copy, there is the shallow copy operation whereby two or more objects, because in Python everything is an object, two or more objects refer to the same memory location. So we'll see both. We'll see the examples of both scenarios through this copy function. The copy function, mind you, is used for deep copy operation. Shallow copy is used in another way, which we'll see shortly. So let's quickly create a deep copy of the dictionary that we just created. The dictionary that we have created is called my underscore d, the one we have just printed out. And if we try to create a copy of it, all we have to do is we have to mention the name of our existing dictionary, which is my underscore d, and invoke the copy function on it with the help of the dot operator, and we'll assign this to another object or to another variable called my underscore d underscore copy. Let's try to execute this cell. Once we execute it, it goes through, and if we print out our new dictionary, which is my underscore d underscore copy, which is a deep copy of our existing dictionary my underscore d, we find that it is exactly the same as our dictionary my underscore d. You can verify this if we go a little up. Yeah, so if you compare this particular output with this particular output, you will find that they are exactly the same, meaning that we have managed to create a copy of our existing dictionary. Now let's try to verify the fact that deep copy has taken place. How do we do that? There is a function called the id function, with the help of which we can find the logical address at which the dictionary has been allocated. So if we pass the name of the dictionary to our id function, which I have done here. So my underscore d, mind you, is our original dictionary, the one that we created right at the outset. This is our my underscore d dictionary. This is the original dictionary. And if we pass the my underscore d dictionary to the id function, we find that we get this fairly large number denoting the memory address. You can think of it as the memory address. I'm not going to make it complicated and get into what is physical memory, logical memory, not required. Just keep in mind that this is the location identifier at which our dictionary my underscore d has been allocated space. Now let's look at the location identifier for our dictionary my underscore d underscore copy. So if we print it out, we find that the identifier for my underscore d is very different from the identifier from the identifier of my underscore d underscore copy. I'll just rephrase what I said. The identifier for my underscore d, which ends with 440 as we see here, is very different from the identifier of my underscore d underscore copy, which ends with 504. Meaning that our new dictionary, our copied dictionary, my d copy, has been given a new memory location completely. Now, let's see what happens if we use the assignment operator to create a copy. So again, we are repeating the same operation on our dictionary my underscore d, and we are using another name my underscore d same. So if we execute this, now let's see what happens when we try to print out the identifier of my d same. We find that it is exactly the same as the identifier of my underscore d. This is a case of shallow copy, and we can verify this with the help of the assignment operator. If we print it out, yes, we find that the ID of my d same and the ID of my d happen to be exactly equal, which means that both of them are in the same memory location. So separate memory location has not been created for the dictionary my d same. It is sharing the same space as my underscore d. That means any change that we bring about to our dictionary using my underscore d will be reflected through the variable my d same, because they're pointing to the same memory location. So it's just one dictionary which is being referred to by two different names. There is one memory location in which the dictionary has been stored, the key value pairs are present, and to this single memory location, two variables are pointing my underscore d underscore same. This has happened because we have performed a shallow copy operation with the help of the assignment operator. Had we used the copy function, then a deep copy would have taken place and a separate memory location would have been allocated to our new dictionary. So this is the difference between shallow copy and deep copy, and the way we use deep copy on a Python dictionary is through the copy function. And if you use the assignment operator, remember, it will only be a shallow copy operation. Any change that you bring about to the newly copied dictionary will be reflected in the original dictionary. This is something that we have to be careful about, especially if we do not want the original contents of the dictionary to change and we want to work only on the copied version. Let's move ahead to the next function, which is the pop function. The job of the pop function is to simply return the value corresponding to the key that is passed to it as an argument. There is a default value, which is optional, of course, that can be passed as a second argument to the pop function if the key that we are trying to pop out is not present in the dictionary and a default value has been provided as a second argument, the default value will be printed. Naturally, the key is not present, so there's nothing to pop out. There is no value to pop out. So if a default value has been provided as a second argument, that default value will be printed. Now, if the key is not present in the dictionary and if no default value has been provided, then a key error will be returned. So whatever I have said has been highlighted through these 4 bullet points that I have now highlighted for you. So what you can do is you can pause the video and go through them. And if you have any confusion, I don't think you will be having any. We'll look at these examples. Nevertheless, if you have any doubts, you can always leave them in the comment section. I'll get back to you in the earliest possible moment. Here, what we are doing is we are applying the pop function on our dictionary my underscore d. The first argument that we are passing to it is a key called name, and the second argument that we are passing to it is the default value. This default value tells us that if this key name is not present in the dictionary my underscore d, then print it out. Print out the default value. If, I'll repeat this again, if the key which is given by the first argument is not present in our dictionary, then print out the second argument, which is the default value. However, if the key is present, if the key name is present in the dictionary, then simply pop out the key value pair from the dictionary. That means remove it from the dictionary. So the dictionary will be modified. Let's try to execute this function. So the moment we execute this function, we find that the values have shown up. The values corresponding to the key name have shown up. Mind you, the dictionary has also been modified. That means the key value pair. What is the key value pair that we are interested in here? The key is name and the value is this list of footballer names. This key value pair has now been popped out. Let's verify this. Let's try to print out my underscore d. The moment we print out my underscore d, we find that in this dictionary the name key has now been removed. So clear example of the pop function modifying our dictionary. Let's try to apply the pop function now by passing to it an argument dob. So what is this first? So it's only one argument that we are passing here. So this one argument denotes the key in our dictionary my underscore d. Is the key dob present in our dictionary? No. So what should we get back? We should get back an error message because no second argument has been passed. The second argument, had it been present, then it would have been printed out as a default value. But here we have passed only one value, which is dob. So it will be treated as a key, and the value corresponding to this key will be printed out. But there is no key with the name dob, so nothing will be printed out. In fact, an error message will show up. So no values will come out of it, and there is no default value, so that message will also not be printed. As I said, that we get an error message called key error. Now what would happen is we'll just modify this example and we'll include a second argument. So the first argument remains the same, which is dob. So this dob denotes the key of the dictionary that we are interested in. And if this key is not present, then the default value corresponding to the second argument would be printed out. So let's see. Yes, as we saw in the case where we got the key error, that the key dob is not present in the dictionary, so the corresponding default value, which is given by the second argument, will show up, which is key not present, and that is exactly what we get. Now if we try to show off, or if we try to show up, if we try to show up the values, the list of values present, we find that there has been no change. There has been no change in the list of values that we have. So that takes care of the pop function. Now we'll talk about the pop item. The pop item function, it simply returns the key value pair corresponding to the rightmost key value pair in the dictionary. So if we look at our dictionary, the current state of our dictionary, if we could just print it out, maybe we could print it out here. If we simply print out, yeah, so if we just print out my underscore d, we find that the rightmost key value pair is goals, corresponding to a list of goals scored by the players. So in all likelihood, the last key value pair, the rightmost key value pair, will be printed out. So let's see if we execute this function. Yes, so we get back a tuple of the rightmost key value pair. And now if we, okay, sorry about that. Now if we try to print out our dictionary my underscore d, we find that the rightmost key value pair corresponding to the goals scored has been removed from our dictionary. Our dictionary no longer contains the key value pair goals followed by the number of goals scored by the player. The last function that we'll take up is the clear function, which simply clears the contents of the dictionary. However, the dictionary will continue to exist in memory. That means it will become an empty dictionary devoid of key value pairs, but the dictionary will continue to have a memory identifier. So if we print out our dictionary, this is what it is. Currently, it has the key nationality followed by the names of the countries and the key position corresponding to the positions in which the players play in. Now, if we invoke the clear function, nothing is returned, and if we print out the dictionary, we find that we get back an empty dictionary. And if we try to print out the ID, we get back a value, which is a clear testimony to the fact that this dictionary my underscore d continues to occupy memory location. So that brings an end to our lecture 32. In the next tutorial, we'll take up dictionary comprehension. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Please do subscribe to our channel and please share this video so that the word goes around. I'll see you again. Bye-bye.